Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on the Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, sunshine. Happy Thursday. This is our final morning report of the week. Just as a reminder, you guys, because this Sunday, it's my birthday, and I'm going to be spending it in Belgium. I'm on a road trip for the north of France and then Belgium over the weekend to celebrate. And we leave tomorrow afternoon. So unfortunately, I won't be able to be here, but I'm really, really glad to be able to spend this final Thursday with you guys before I come back on Tuesday. Okay. We got a lot to discuss in today's show, y'all. There's a Diddy update. Apparently, an inmate held a knife to his neck and threatened him in jail. For some reason, I don't believe him. I'm kind of the belief that this is some kind of a stunt to get him out or get him in better conditions. Candiace Dillard, former Real Housewives of Potomac star, dragged Ashley Darby by her forehead on her podcast. Wendy Osefo is accusing the police of illegally arresting her. And Michelle Obama is talking about today's dating market and why young people, specifically young Black Americans, are having a difficult time dating. I'm very excited to talk about it all with you guys. So why don't we dig in? But before we get into that, let's see who's joining us for today's episode of the show. Let me know how you're doing, where you're watching from. Let's see who we've got in the house. We've got Gala here. Good morning, Gala. Angie Kahara. We've got Kay-Ann as well. Good morning, Kay-Ann. Venetia, Kelly, Deshauna. Deshauna, I got to respond to your DM. Thanks so much for putting me on to that clip-in company. So now I'm going to be checking them out. Good morning, Jessica, Matt, Michelle, Roxy, Matt. Did I say Matt twice? Well, good morning again, Matt. Good morning, Latasha. And thank y'all so much for the birthday wishes. It is Scorpio season. We got to celebrate hard. Shout out to my fellow Scorpios. I hope you guys have a great birthday as well and that you're having a great time celebrating wherever you are in the world. Thank you guys so much for all of the B-Day love. And I can't wait to recap it for you guys. I'm gonna give y'all all the juice, all the tea on how it goes, okay? And exactly, Latasha, you cannot trust no damn Diddy. Yuck. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him, and I can't even pick him up. Just to give you an idea. Oh my God, Marilyn from Puerto Rico. That's amazing. You're watching from paradise. I love that. Welcome. Good morning. Lynn is from Australia. Trudy Love is from Las Vegas. I love knowing where you guys are from. This is so exciting to see. Thank y'all so much. Kelly says they still don't know where Diddy will spend the remainder of his sentence, and he's trying to make it as comfortable for himself as possible. But I don't want that for him. I want him locked up. I want him in the shoe, solitary confinement for 3 years straight. I want the worst for him. Sorry, not sorry, but I do. Just saying. Good morning, Rebecca from North Carolina. Listen, I only got to go to North Carolina once and for a very short time, and I actually really love the vibes, and I would love to return. It kind of reminded me a bit of Louisiana and NOLA, I should say, in the jazz vibes, the love of music there. And y'all know I'm a jazz junkie. So it seemed really cool. And I would love to go back. Mississauga, Kelly, my Canadian girly. Is Mississauga considered the GTA? I think I consider it that way, but I'm just curious. Same here, Terry. I want him under that damn jail suffering. I do not care about this news. Just saying. Well, happy early birthday to your son as well, Michelle. Wait. I thought you said on the 27th. Happy 27th 7th birthday to your son. By the way, you don't look like you have a son who's 27 years old. Sometimes I feel like y'all are trolling me. Are you sure your son's 27 years old? Damn. Wisconsin's here. Don't recommend coming here. Listen, I feel like I asked this question last time, Angie, about whether or not you guys are the ones with the cheese or something like that. Or is it like cheese curds? I can't remember, y'all. I can't remember. I'm just too excited for my B-Day trip, y'all. I haven't even packed my bags yet. I will have to do it when I come back tonight. It's just been such a busy week. I'm about to go, after I shoot today's show, I'm going to go to my friend's house. Like my friends, they just bought an apartment out in like the suburbs in Créteil, which is the south of Paris. Or is it the north? I don't know. I'm going to be going over there for dinner tonight. And then when I come back is when I'm going to be packing my bags. And then tomorrow, nice and early, I'm going to make myself a nice little iced coffee, relax a bit, and then get ready to head out there. I gotta bounce by 12 p.m. sharp to be on the road for Lille, which I'm so excited about. Anyway, y'all, let's get into the Diddy of it. Oh God, I hate talking about this guy, but there's a lot of news coming out about him, unfortunately, which means, we gotta keep talking about him. Guards, you know what to do. There you go, you guys. The diddler. The diddler, as my friend Kempire likes to say. TMZ and the Daily Fail are reporting that a fellow inmate threatened to slit this guy's throat in prison. Again, I don't believe this. You know that TMZ is in bed with Diddy's lawyer, right? And they've been trying to paint this guy as innocent, trying to minimize the things he's done, trying to get him out from the very beginning. So don't be surprised if this is just propaganda paid for by Diddy to have us feel some type of sympathy for him and to try to get him out. Okay. So apparently this happened while he was sleeping. He woke up to the alleged weapon against his alleged throat. And so a guy named Carlucci Finney says that the attack went down during one of the nights that Diddy was sleeping at MDC Brooklyn. And he told the Daily Fail that Diddy woke up with the weapon to his neck, seconds away from serious harm or even death. He doesn't know if the guards came to break it up or if Diddy fought the guy off. Sources who are familiar with the situation allegedly confirmed the details for TMZ. This guy says that the inmate's intent was probably just to intimidate Diddy. And this is something that typically happens in a facility like MDC Brooklyn. And he says that prison isn't a safe place for anyone convicted in a case related to sex. And he's worried about Diddy's safety. I don't understand why this guy's worried about Diddy's safety. In my opinion, everybody knows that there are certain crimes that they give you the scarlet letter in prison, right? Particularly crimes against children. And now I'm hearing that like X crimes are up there too. I personally think that's a great thing. And I think that Diddy should be scared. I love that he's scared personally. Like this story is not moving me to hit the streets and march and hope and pray that Diddy feels safe in prison. Absolutely freaking not. Like people, women particularly, have not felt safe around Diddy or with Diddy being out in the streets for 30 plus years. Even with him behind bars, they're still unsafe. So the fact that Diddy could feel a certain level of fear and unsafety, the way that his victims, his long list of victims have been feeling for years and years and years, you know what? Yeah. You know what? Hell yeah. Okay? I'm sorry, you guys. It's giving propaganda. I'm not buying this story. It feels like a crock of crap. TMZ is desperate to get this guy out, y'all. They're desperate, truly, truly desperate to get this guy out. So I think that they're trying to tug at people's heartstrings and whatnot, right? And I'm just over it. And I wish that more people will call it out. Because this has been happening for quite a while now. Anyway, let's see what y'all have to say about this story. Kelly says his attorneys are fighting to get Diddy into a federal prison, right? And they're really trying to like push him to be close to the family, this, that, and the other. The judge already said no on that, but yes to some other things that he had requested. But I forgot what the other things that he had requested were. Oh, Lynn, your daughter's turning 17 as well. She's a Scorpio. Love that. We've got so many Scorpio parents here, and I love that for us. South Carolina gala. Love, 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 love. What do you guys have going on in South Carolina that I should know about? Like, please fill me in. When I think about it, I don't know anything about South Carolina. And yes, okay, I got it right this time. Shout out to the cheese over there in Wisconsin. And thank you for the birthday wishes from sunny California, Savvy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning, Money Swipers. My daughter is 12 on the 29th. Okay, you've got a birthday twin in the live chat, right? Your daughter shares a birthday with Lynn's daughter, who's turning 17, Michelle. Latasha says, do you take any train trips to France? Do you guys have those? You can. Yes, I have taken the train to go to Bordeaux. I've taken it to go to Nice. And I think that's about it. I've been trying to take it, planning to take it to go to other places like Strasbourg, Dijon. I've taken it to go to Normandy. I've taken Normandy. I've taken it to go to Lyon as well. But that's about it, to be honest with you guys. And I think, already that's not too bad. That's not half bad. I've been dying to go to Strasbourg for Le Marché de Noël, the Christmas market, but I haven't yet found the opportunity. And I think that this year we're going to take a car to go there, which is going to be much easier. Listen, we got a super chat from my buddy, my bestie, Kemper. Kemper, we were just talking about you here when I was calling Diddy the diddler. Nice to see you here. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes and the super chat. And I've been thinking about you. I'm dying to message you, to text you back, sorry, but there's been a lot going on and I can't wait to fill you in on it. Thank you so, so much. It's so sweet of you, Campfire. Always so, so, so supportive. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you know what? Happy early birthday to your manager. I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name, but happy early birthday to him too. I've been telling people here that he and I are birthday twins. He's the first birthday twin that I ever met. So shout out to him too. Hope he's doing well. Chrissy says he should have leaned in. She says, I thought you were talking about, he should have leaned into like growth or something like that. Lord have mercy, Chrissy. Lord have mercy. And thank y'all so much for the birthday love for, the Campfire love as well, you guys. Kelly says, I don't believe Diddy was attacked. He will try anything. Same here. It didn't happen. It didn't freaking happen. Nobody's going to watch you sleep, put a knife so delicately to your throat, and then walk away. Right. It didn't happen. Receipts, please. I would like to see a formal complaint, a formal report to show or prove that this actually took place. Right. Because I'm not buying it. Right. Campfire says the diddler got more excuses than I can count. Exactly. He just keeps on coming out with new things. And remember, you guys, we covered this in yesterday's episode of the morning report. TMZ has been really adamant in their report and in their claims that Trump might be pardoning or commuting Diddy's sentence as soon as this Friday. So let's continue to keep an eye out. One of my girls, I think it was B-Wise says it's not happening because the Daily Fail said it's not happening. And listen, we're already Thursday. We haven't heard an update on that, but don't forget that some of the people on Diddy's legal team are close to the Trump administration. So please, please, please keep an eye out on it, okay? Good morning, Jaleesa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, Cammie. Listen, I can't wait to come back and celebrate post B-Day with you guys. Yes. And yes. Good morning, KP. Good morning, Little Miss Fluffy, Venetia, Kahara, Chrissy. Thank y'all so much. You guys are so sweet. Kelly says he'll never be as petrified as Cassie and his other victims felt for decades. Exactly. That's why I think that this is a good thing for him if it did happen, right? First of all, he wasn't actually injured. He wasn't actually hurt the way that his victims were injured and hurt. We all saw that video of him viciously, and I mean viciously, beating Cassie, right? Punching her, kicking her, throwing a vase at her, dragging her back into a room she was trying to escape. We heard those stories about him forcing her to get breast implants. And then and he chose the size and everything. But then after she comes out of the operating room, he takes one look and says, no, change it. As if she's some sort of a machine or some kind of doll or some kind of toy or whatever, that you can just redo that type of stuff. Like when you go through a surgery, it's a massive recovery. it takes months to recover, right? So for him to like really put a lot of pressure on her and the doctor to get it redone immediately, that was, to me, that is still one of the cruelest things that I had heard about him doing, and the long list of things that he did, right? The doctor was adamant in telling him, Diddy, no, you cannot reoperate like that. It's dangerous. She just got operated on. She's still weak. And this man insisted until the judge, or not the judge, sorry, but the doctor, the surgeon, finally relented and said, all right, fine then. We will do it like within a couple of weeks, but it's not happening within 24 hours the way that you want it to, right? Oh, Lord have mercy. Good morning, B Chocolate from Seattle. And thank you, Tamara. Thank you. Malen, thank you. You guys are so sweet. Thanks for the B-Day love. And good morning, Cynthia. And Terry, it truly is like my friend, one of my besties, Julie. She met my friend, and I'm actually going to his place tonight, Kenny, and they're birthday twins. They're Virgo birthday twins, right? And so like they have this like special connection just based off of that alone. And I freaking absolutely love it. Oh, you're on the 25th, Amelia. Happy early B-Day to you. And I was talking about you yesterday, how your icon and your name, it always brings me back to one of my like favorite childhood characters and stuff like that. I was like, oh my God, sometimes it makes me want to go back and, take a look at some of these books that I was reading back in the day, and the Robert Munch books and stuff like that. Like, something about like books, those books back in the day were just so damn good. And I've been thinking about them a lot lately. Now, you guys, why don't we get into Candace Dillard-Bassett? Okay. It's been a while since we've spoken about her, and it's because she left the Real Housewives of Potomac very wisely, because she was expecting her child, a son. And the first time, I think she blamed her miscarriage that she had the first time she got pregnant on the stress from the filming of the show and whatnot. So I do think it was very smart of her to go ahead, take a step back, go through this pregnancy, have a safe delivery and everything, right? She's launched a podcast. I don't know if you guys are aware of that or not. And on this podcast, she decided to come for her arch nemesis, Ashley Darby, specifically because Ashley Darby has been laughing and making fun of Wendy Osefo for getting arrested and charged with 7 counts of felony fraud, right? And Candace is just not here for it at all. So take a look at how she drags Ashley on her podcast. So, let Candace tell it. Ashley and Wendy were in a good place last time she heard. And so she just doesn't understand why Ashley is taking the opportunity to revel in Wendy's downfall and to take a lot of glee in it. And she also doesn't understand why Ashley is laughing so hard when she was married to a very, very shady man who might have his own skeletons come out of the closet eventually, right? So take a look at it. If you guys are enjoying today's episode of The Morning Report, please don't forget to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And I'll be putting your comments up as the episode plays, okay? It's about 4 minutes of Candace, dressing Ashley down. Here goes.
Forehead, girl.
Not forehead.
I wasn't saying anything, but since we're here and you put the microphone in my face, I'm going to say, I'll keep it light well, first of all, I thought that Wendy and Ashley were friends.
On the show so far, they seem quite cordial.
On the current season.
Yeah, so far they seem
okay.
Unless I missed something, but yeah, they seem good.
Right. Well, so when I left, they were friends. And unless something happened this current season, what would possess Ashley to say something like that? Something so celebratory in the face of what feels like a disaster and a travesty for Wendy. Like she had to have like slept with your man for you to say something like that. And being is how you don't have one. Like, what did she do? Did she like you would have had to like snatch one of my kids for me to say that, because and this is just maybe home training that some of us don't have. Even my worst enemy, and I have a couple, in their misfortune, what you will never find me doing is like you said, dancing on their graves. Like, it's just, It is a recipe. You are inviting the karma to come and whoop your ass. And karma has already come and come again for Ashley, as we've seen time and time again on the show. So I'm perplexed as to why she thought that was the best choice. I know cameras were rolling at the show.
It seemed like they were. I love the show.
That would push her to just kind of go a little further. But it's like it's a soul selling of sorts that you would say this when literally misfortune can find anybody. And given, where you've come from and the person you have escaped, we don't know what you're privy to. We don't know you when he let you out that cage. We don't know what you were privy to. Allegedly.
Cage.
Allegedly.
Yeah, that's
we don't know. So I don't know why it just boggles my mind that she would be so celebratory, even if she didn't like her. To quote the Grand Dame, what does she be saying? The something comes home to, what is it? The turkey comes home to roost. The roosters will come home to roost. Okay. They always come home, and it might take a few eons.
Stretch it out, girl, you said what you had to say, you made your point, let's go, let's wrap it up. But yeah, essentially she just does not understand why Ashley always seems to take so much joy and pleasure in people's downfalls or in people going through difficult times. And I do understand what it is that she's saying and whatnot, but at the same time, that's just who Ashley is, unfortunately, right? Like, and I think a lot of people have been clocking it, especially recently, that she always has this kind of like, mischievous grin on her face or a little sideways smile whenever somebody is a little bit distressed. And it's kind of creepy. It's kind of weird. But this is the same girl who pulled up the information about Robin and Juan's bankruptcy or foreclosure or something like that in season 1 with a smile on her face and talked about it to Katie, right? Good morning, Hamlet, princess. And then don't forget, she's also the one that brought that Oh Sue thing onto the last season of The Real Housewives of Potomac. That was her. She's also the one who helped stir the pot about Candace's husband when when Giselle was lying about him for a storyline. She's always been this person. I'm happy that Candace is calling it out because it's weird and it's creepy how she's always been that person behind a lot of the most damaging and harmful storylines on the show. And so this season, what are we seeing her do? She's pulling out the Stacey has bad breath as a storyline, calling her all sorts of names and liars about her divorce or her relationships or whatever, right? TMZ did come out with the receipts to prove that Stacey was telling the truth about, her divorce and finding out about it while on vacation around Christmas time and everything. But, she's been pulling that a lot. And I don't know, it's just who she is. Unfortunately, she's a very, very mischievous character. East Austin says Ashley Darby was met at a cage wild. Candace is ruthless. Ashley forehead Darby needs to worry about Sheila's bridge and roaches. Her little bridge in her den. Listen, that's the thing about Candace though, that you guys remember how Candace always had this like colorism stuff, right? So she would always call colorism. But then she said some of the most heinous things, like when she called Ashley a bedwench or told her that her husband was her overseer. She said she was like a roach laying on her back for money. Just all sorts of really bad stuff, hood rat, like ghetto, like all this type of like, really, really like thinly veiled language all the time. And I feel like this thing about the cage and stuff too, if somebody said that about her, she would find a way to call it colorist, to call it racist or whatever. So that's the one thing, like she'll always have a point, but then she'll go and take things too far. And I wish she knew how to kind of like quit while she's ahead when it comes to dragging people and whatnot, because don't forget, this is the same girl who called Ashley colorist because Ashley said she had dry hair, which is like, really, girl, really, Candace, you almost had it, girl, but per usual, you took things too far. Just saying, right? Just saying. And I love that expression, Kalia. Isasum also says, Candace is windmilling for her girl. Get these tricks off of you. Bum ASS forehead needs to find her man a new boyfriend and mind her own business. Damn, y'all are not feeling Ashley, which I get. I don't like Ashley either. But Lord, listen, I wish that Candace was here for the season of RHOP. Like, not having Candace and not having Karen at the same time has been terrible for the show. She would have been really, really good. I would have loved to see her with Stacey and handling the Mean Girl crew right there. Misery and Company, Giselle and Ashley. Good morning, Kalia. Nice to see you, boo. Milan says, Ashley reminds me of Pennywise. Oh my God, y'all are cutting up this morning. Lord have mercy. So it's Pennywise and Golem. What a couple, right? That could have been a great pair of Halloween dress-up costumes for the two of them. A mess. As of right now, Ashley has not yet responded to Candace's insults, but trust and believe she probably is getting ready to clap back as we speak. So stay tuned for that. When she comes back, responding to Candace's comments, don't worry. I'll be looking forward to discussing them with you guys. Okay. Now, speaking of Wendy Osefo, I do want to get into the story about her now accusing the police officers who arrested her of illegally arresting her, actually, right? And I think that this is a very interesting story. This is an exclusive from Us Weekly magazine, by the way, you guys. So they're saying that on October 17th, Wendy's lawyer filed court documents as part of her criminal case in Maryland. She demanded in these court papers that all charges against her be dismissed due to alleged, quote, defects in the charging document. She's also demanded that all evidence be suppressed because of an unlawful search or seizure. Ooh, Lord. And so she's also asked for all wire and verbal communications to be suppressed because of an unlawful interception. In the court filings, Wendy's lawyer claims that his client was illegally arrested. And he also said that, quote, all admissions, statements, or confessions should not be allowed as evidence because they were unlawfully obtained. So a lot of people are running with this now, and they're saying, oh, so she's not saying that she's innocent, that she didn't do anything of this. She's just saying that the evidence against her was obtained illegally. And so there's a lot of kind of like heat coming for her on this particular story. And I wanted to know what you guys thought about this, by the way. And so Wendy in the court documents also asked that the trial of co-defendants be severed from the trial of this defendant, meaning that she did not want to be fighting this case alongside her husband, Eddie. She wanted for them to be tried separately. I don't personally understand the meaning of this. I will need to consult with one of my lawyer friends to really get the gist on why that would be. I know that there are a couple blogs now reporting that this is her throwing her husband under the bus or something like that. But I personally do not feel like that is the case. I think that maybe this is their way of wanting to exercise the most of their spousal privileges when it comes to the court of law. And I don't think that it's anything nefarious on their end, or particularly on Wendy's end. So in another court filing that she and her lawyers made, Wendy's lawyer also demanded that the prosecutor turn over any alleged evidence that they have in their possession. And she demanded a list of all the witnesses that the prosecutors plan to call and any polygraph results of witnesses questioned by law enforcement. And she wants to know if the prosecutors had any confidential informants who worked on the investigation, and asked for copies of all official police reports. And as of right now, Eddie, in a strange turn of events, actually doesn't even have a lawyer signed up yet to represent him, which I find to be incredibly strange. Maybe there's some kind of strategy behind it, but for now, it is very, very strange, especially with him being a lawyer himself. You would think that, you know, through friends of friends, colleagues, or whatever, he would be able to get a good recommendation on somebody who would be able to defend him, you know, against these massive charges that he's failing. Like, chop, chop, Eddie, you are fighting felony charges, boo. Like, let's get that defense on the roll, right? Like, let's get it on the road. When are they supposed to be showing up in court? I think they're supposed to be showing up in court in December or something like that. But I can't remember off the top of my head. Terry says that Misery and Company reminded me of Oliver and Company. Great movie. I've never heard about it. I'll have to look into that, Terry. East Austin says the British lady is reading Ashley's intelligence in the latest RHOP commercial. I'm here for anyone that drags forehead. Stay on her neck. She just does not get enough heat. She's always been the one secretly behind a lot of these things, and everybody else will take the heat for it, but her. So I'm really happy that people are waking up to it. Good morning, Sydney. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a great day. And good morning, Summer Breeze, as well. Nice to see you, boo. Malen says, Wendy, stop. She's doing the same thing as Karen. And this is the thing, you guys, it scares me so bad. Like, Wendy really wants to take this to the very bitter end. She just does not want to admit any kind of fault. I personally, obviously, she's innocent until proven guilty, but I personally do believe that she and Eddie are guilty of the charges against them. And listen, if they can find a loophole, if they really were illegally arrested, if this stuff against them, the evidence was illegally obtained, then good. I hope that they can get this thing thrown out on a technicality. But unfortunately, I do think that these charges are going to stick, and I do think that the best course of action for her would to own up to her alleged mistakes, and take a good plea deal and move forward in a more positive direction and take full accountability. You know what I mean? But she's not doing that. She's not doing it. My girl just does not want to do that. She wants to fight this to the bitter end, which unfortunately I think can lead to her getting some serious jail time. 7 felonies, a bunch of misdemeanors as well. Like, it's not looking good. Can I ask you guys why she thinks, I haven't read anything like that really explains why she feels like all of this stuff was illegally obtained, or why she feels like she was illegally arrested. I'm very curious about that, but I don't have any more details than what I just told you guys, unfortunately. And thank you so much, Jasmine, wishing me a happy early birthday. Thank you. I'm so excited for my B-Day weekend. I'm going to try my best to share as much as possible on the gram, you guys. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Thank y'all so much for all of the B-Day love. And thank you, JJ. Thank you. I went through like 5 outfits today just to end up wearing all black. It's just one of those days, right? Chrissy says, Candace is very childish. She can pinch, but no one can pinch her back. Exactly. She could say the most heinous things to her. But heinous anti-black things to you. But the minute you say her hair is dry, you are the most racist person to ever racist on the planet. Please. East Awesome says, Wendy Osefo does not have any prior charges. She's not like the Grand Dame. And that's what makes this so scary. Like, what a way to debut in the criminal world with 7 felonies, multiple misdemeanors. Like, typically people start off with like a little one thing, like a DUI or a theft charge or something, a possession charge, you know what I mean? But for her to just burst on the scene like this, it was a bit aggressive. So I really do hope that her lawyers are good and that they're able to save her from these charges, because these are very serious charges that can get her locked up for a very, very long time. Hey, Monique, happy Thursday. East Austin says that Stacey Rush refers to Ashley Darby as an imp and the devil. Yup. We, the viewers, support Stacey Rush. Did you see the way that Ashley was gooped and gagged over it? She was like, oh, when she got called that was so good. Listen, I was trying to watch that episode, but it was the day I had that migraine. Y'all remember Monday? I had the biggest migraine. So I fell asleep right as Stacey was calling her that. So I have to eventually rewatch that episode. But you guys, and I forgot to tell you this, yesterday on Netflix, I was watching that documentary everybody's talking about, The Perfect Neighbor. Oh, it was good. It was heart-wrenching. It was gruesome. It was just shocking. It was weird. You know what I mean? So that's what I wound up watching yesterday. But I do need to rewatch Sunday's episode of The Housewives of Potomac. Thanks, B-Wise. I was talking about you earlier, girl. I was talking about how we are waiting for Friday, because remember, TMZ is reporting that Trump is going to be commuting Diddy's sentence as early as this Friday. And I was talking about how you are adamantly in disbelief of this story. You are more so on the side of the Daily Mail, which says that this is not going to happen. I'm like, listen, we got only 24 hours until we find out. East Austin says the Bronwyn Newport RH Housewives of Salt Lake City storyline will ramp up next Wednesday. Bravo True Crime Channel. I've been hearing little rumblings of it. I gotta catch up because apparently she's a little bit of an alleged criminal herself. Like, and something about the case being locked and sealed or something like that. I'm really curious about what she was up to. She's very much off. Listen, I don't know how she managed to bag such a rich man with that background and all the stuff that, she's got going on. I was like, really, girl, you must have been doing some type of voodoo to capture that man. Why? Oh, the documentary. I was like, oh, what's making cry? Housewives? No, yeah. And I understand, especially when the kids were crying. Those poor kids were just being kids. For you guys who are just wondering what we're talking about, the documentary on Netflix, The Perfect Neighbor. It was a bunch of kids. It was a neighborhood that was such a family neighborhood. It had such good vibes, kids running around everywhere, like everybody in the community looking out for everybody's kids and stuff. And then all of a sudden, a lady who absolutely hates children moves into the neighborhood and just makes it a living hell for everybody until eventually she offs one of the children's parents. And it's just this whole thing. It was brutal to watch as everybody finds out that she's not going to make it, especially the kids. Oof, brutal. Yeah, Bronwyn, I'm very curious about that. He's awesome. Yeah, it's really good, Terry, but like you will have your heart shattered watching that for sure. And I agree, Terry, that she must have that Glock 3000 or the Venus flytrap or something, because I'm sorry, but I just don't see it otherwise. Summer Breeze says, oh my God, I didn't think she was going to get arrested. Yeah. Stay tuned, you guys. It's quite the roller coaster. And you know what else was the roller coaster, you guys? Did you all watch already? For those of you who are actually going to watch it, did you already watch the finale episode of Love is Blind with all the weddings and stuff? Can I talk about that, or is it going to be spoiling it for you guys? Please let me know, because I want to talk about it, but I don't know if I can, because I watched it. I'm sorry, y'all. And y'all know I've been watching Love is Blind from the very beginning. I was a diehard Love is Blind lover, but it's just the quality has been going down so bad. And this last season, the one that's airing right now in particular, is absolutely atrocious. It is so bad. They scraped the bottom of the barrel to find these people who are the least compelling people they could have ever found to put on TV. And then the ending ends. If you've been watching it, listen, the ending ends the way you would think it ends. That's all I'll say. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but what a disappointing season it has been. Now, you guys, we are on to our final story of the day. I want to talk about Michelle Obama. Listen, a lot of times people are talking about the dating market. When did dating get so difficult? Why does it feel like none of us know what we're doing in this dating world and whatnot? And Michelle Obama has a podcast with her big brother, Craig. And in this episode, they speak alongside a guest to talk about what exactly is happening in the dating world. Like, why is it so difficult, particularly for young Black Americans who are trying to, navigate the world of love, romance, like all that sort of thing. So take a look at what they had to say, okay? And then we'll talk about it on the flip side. I do think that they make some solid points, and I'm excited to hear you guys' perspectives on it, okay? Here goes.
Well, there are a lot of young Black people that they get into college and they've never had
I don't think that's healthy.
Or girlfriend.
I don't think that's healthy.
I totally agree with you.
I don't think.
And a lot of that comes from being in all white environments as a Black kid.
Not to be felt like someone even likes you, even if it's for a week.
Yes.
There's no memory of a mutual desire and how to negotiate those feelings, those conversations, those opportunities maybe to come to mom or dad for advice, or aunt and uncle or village. There's no place for them to even practice those. That's practice that we're talking about.
I always thought that Black boys had it easier. This is my ignorance because I grew up with daughters.
I'm not in every household, but when I look at it I think there's a time in which Black boys they're really cute from kindergarten to fourth grade. And actually, Dr. Jawanza Kunchufu has a book about the conspiracy to destroy Black boys. And it's typically society starts to pull away from them. They're like, imagine being so cute.
Yeah.
And then suddenly so threatening.
Yeah.
So there you have it, you guys. They're saying, listen, maybe it's the fact that a lot of times in Black families, you're not even allowed to date while you're young. So you're missing out on all of this valuable dating experience and having a community to help you navigate love and relationships and crushes and whatnot. And then you're thrust out into the dating world when you're already grown, but you're several steps behind people who've been at this since they were kids. Then there's also the fact of growing up in these communities where you are essentially the outsider, right? Where, you're not really seen as all that, as a dating option or whatever, because it's just, you're not thinking that way, right? When you're so young. So I thought it was a very interesting discussion. And I wanted to know if you guys found it relatable or anything like that. Did you struggle with dating? When you first got out, really, really into the dating world as an adult and whatnot? Did you have these strict rules placed upon you when you were, a wee lass or a wee lad in school and high school and whatnot by your parents? Were you a person of color that grew up in, or maybe even if you're white, but you grew up in in a suburb or in an area that was, where you were the minority and whatnot. And so people weren't really looking at you like that. There are just so many factors that go into it, right? So while I wait for you guys to tell me about that, I did want to go back to the Love is Blind comments because a lot of you guys did want to talk about it overall. So listen, if you haven't watched the finale, put your earmuffs on because I'm going to say it in a couple of seconds here, what happens, right? And I don't want to ruin it for you. So go ahead, put your earmuffs on. I'm about to spill it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. None of these people get married, y'all. Thank God, right? Thank God, thank God, thank God. They shouldn't have. But it's just sad that there was just so few connections. Nothing worked. There's no sparks, nothing. What I did notice though, was that all of the men said yes at the altar and all the women said hell no. And I was really proud of the women for saying no. First of all, Calabria and Edmund, no offense to him, he's kind of a child, so I don't even know how he got cast on the show. It was very strange. It felt like she was coaching her son, throughout, as a therapist or something like that throughout the entire season. Then when it came to the girl, Ali, and the Russian guy, he seems to have an alcohol problem, a partying problem, all that stuff. I'm glad she said no to that. I didn't like the weird classism with her friends, though, when they were like, oh, he's just a truck driver or something like that. That was really gross to watch. And then what else? That guy, Sparkle Megan, and that single dad, that was really sad. He was heartbroken. He really wanted to be with her. But she ultimately wound up leaving him for all the reasons that she never should have said yes in the first place, right? If you don't want to date a single dad, don't get engaged to one, right? Don't want to marry one, don't get engaged to one. She should have chosen the other guy. When she was debating between sticking with her old typical pattern or going for something new, she should have stuck to her typical pattern. Listen, at a certain age, at a certain point in your life, you like what you like, right? And it just is what it is. You got to own it. Anyway, Cherie says these are facts when it comes to the dating world and why it's so difficult for the youngsters to date today. Terry says threatening. Maybe they need someone to talk to. Black families will definitely deflect instead of talking. Oh, don't I know about that? It also says, as a Black boy, now man. And we see the man in the photo. So buff. I can confirm we have it easier for Black boys until college age. Why is it that college age that drops off? I'm actually quite surprised about that. I thought it only gets better from adulthood. Cherie says, my mom definitely put restrictions on me and my sister. Same here. I could not even talk to a boy. I could not even talk about a boy forever until I was in uni. And even then it was still kind of dubious. So I just did not. So then you're in your 20s and you're like, what is this? Dating, huh? Hey, Star, how are you? I think none of that matters. Dating in this day and age is just terrible. It is bad, but I feel when you're already behind the curve as far as experience goes, it just makes it even worse, and you don't know anything about it. Because you know what? I don't know if your parents were the same, but listen, I'm going to drop the dime on my parents. Let me go ahead and drop the dime. Because in addition to not allowing us to date, they also had this weird thing. You could not look at I don't know if you guys have this too, but if anything romantic is happening on the TV, you used to always have to watch the TV with the remote in your hand, just in case there's going to be some romantic stuff happening, any hugging, any kissing, any bedroom scenes or whatever. Like, you're going to have to like fast forward that stuff. So like, we were completely clueless to everything, you know what I mean? Which just made it all the worse. Gwen says, yep, I can confirm that minimal dating experience isn't a good idea. We had courtship rules, chaperones, no physical contact. I got detention for hugging my boyfriend senior year. Oh my God, it's strict as hell. I used to always wonder what it'd be like to have like a parental chaperone, though. That sounds so cool that you had that. Terry says it definitely matters because it impacts people. I agree. Gwen says I got married at 22. Wow. And don't recommend it. Damn. East also says, did anyone agree to continue dating? So we're talking about the Love is Blind. This is a spoiler, you guys. So don't listen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nobody gets married. And no, none of them I don't think are going to continue dating moving forward. Like, Allie's turned off by that guy and his seemingly alcohol issues. And she doesn't like that his job is not like a high status job. Megan feels like her man is too broke for her. And she doesn't like that he has a kid. Can I give you another spoiler about Sparkle Megan, you guys? Apparently she's pregnant. Or she had a baby, actually, by somebody else shortly after filming the show. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out at the reunion. I don't know if she's going to show up pregnant or something like that. Like, I don't know. And exactly, they make money, right? Like, I don't like the way they spoke about him was really gross to me. Milan says, Grace, you should do a deep dive on Edmund. Love is Blind. Ooh, you know what? Why not? Let me go ahead and screenshot this then, Milan, because I still do not understand it. I felt like he was a very fragile person who went through so much like rejection and who would have more abandonment issues than your average person, right? So to put him on this experience and then to have him like abandoned like that in front of everybody at a wedding at the altar, oof, to me it felt really, really cruel, really, truly cruel. I felt terrible for him. Sparkle Megan, East Awesome, yeah. The way she and her mom and her sisters, they were like crying over that guy's son having diabetes, the same type 1 diabetes that her dad had and everything. It was so heavy. They kept trauma jumping on that poor man. They used him just for that. And then boom, she ditches him. You know, like, it was insane. Exactly, JB. Exactly. Right? Like, she should have thought that over a little bit more. Candiace says most guys only date me until they find someone they like better. Ouch. It sucks. Ouch. That is so freaking brutal. And, you know, that's what it kind of feels like in the dating world these days. You know, it just feels very much like, you know, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop almost. So I definitely know what you're talking about. Like, and it's brutal and it sucks. And unfortunately, it just doesn't feel like it ever really gets easier, you know? Hey, boo. Happy Thursday. And happy Thursday, Thea. Nice to see you, boo. That's so funny. I went off to college and I came home and my mom automatically thought I was pregnant because I puked like once or twice when I always had to throw up on my cycle. Oh my God. Don't even get me started on the parental paranoia of parents who really do not want you dating or doing anything like that. Should I tell you guys this? It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. I had to think about whether or not I'll tell you because it's so embarrassing. Because I've been telling you guys about the level of paranoia that my parents had and stuff, like even like as far as watching TV and movies. Oh, there's another step, but I'm so embarrassed. I can't even tell you guys. BY says, I dated secretly at 19. I think I did too. When I started uni, I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm not listening to this, like, you know, this stuff anymore, please. East Awesome says, I got in trouble for watching the Unbreak My Heart Tony Braxton music video. I know exactly what you mean. I couldn't watch music videos either. They were too tempting, apparently. I'm sorry to laugh, but that is so funny. Oh, Lord have mercy. BY says my parents were strict about dating. I know, it was so bad. And I feel like that's what we're all dealing with, the ramifications of that now. You know, all these parents that put all these weird rules. And now it's a bunch of people who have no clue what they're doing, right? And yeah, I'm so surprised about that, Sid. And I'm excited to see how that plays out at the reunion. Because, you know, one second she's like, I don't want somebody with a kid because a kid's going to slow down my lifestyle. The next second she's knocked up. She's that somebody with a kid. Terry says, my mom was strict, but not my dad. They didn't teach me anything about dating. And I'm kind of glad they didn't because they aren't happy. You know what? You said, what is it that Jordan Wood said about Chloe? I don't want your situation. Gwen says, don't get me wrong. It kind of worked out. We aren't together, but we live together because neither of us want to miss out on time with the kids. They just run upstairs to see their dad when he's here. You know what? I think it's really beautiful that you guys are in a place where even if you're no longer romantically interested in one another, you can coexist and cohabitate as, as people who respect one another, right? And to have this like healthy, like family, atmosphere for your kids, I think that's really beautiful. So I commend you on that for sure. Do y'all date on the side? Just curious though. Just curious. Thea says, my parents weren't strict enough. Oh, not you thought and bopping. I used to have to pick age-appropriate shows / movies, games for myself. Wow. I didn't even swear all through grade school. That's crazy. So you're like one of those ones that came out kind of like an old soul, like a true old soul. Like, oh, listen, nobody's going to raise me. I'm about to raise myself type vibes. Damn. But now you're a menace, though. It looks like you kind of eased up on yourself a little bit. But that is so crazy to hear that you were so disciplined from such a young age. Gwen says, but I'm an advocate of dating a lot. So you know what you like and don't like. And living together before marriage just makes practical sense. I completely agree. I think it's so important to date as much as possible. Date safely. Screw safely, right? And yeah, I also do believe in living together before marriage as well. Because listen, some of the stuff you discover about people when you live together, like what they're really doing and stuff. Oh my God, didn't I tell you about that guy I dated where like he seemed normal and stuff and really like adventurous in terms of like learning things. But then when we started living together, all he did 24/7 until like 4 a.m. was play video games. I was like, oh, thank God I knew about this because absolutely hell no. Good morning, Mary. Milan says, I feel Netflix cast Edmund to use and embarrass him as a typical weird Black man, and I hate that. That scene where he's sobbing because Calabria won't sleep with him or have sex with him, that was crazy. That was unhinged. Even when she said no at the altar, he's like, like, I was like, guys, why did you cast this guy? He's not... like, and you know it, you see it, everybody knows it, everybody sees it. Why would they cast him? That was insane to me. It was really unfair to him. Hamlet says, sometimes love is right under your nose for decades. I married my BFF's brother. So now you and your BFF are family. That's so beautiful. And are you guys still BFFs too? Like that didn't like make anything weird. That's so cool. Kahara. So you know what? It makes me happy to hear because I remember you were telling me this is not your sister in your photo, it's your daughter. So I guess you're like you let her date and explore and stuff. So it sounds like you're at least going to do better than our parents did, which I love. BY says, when I was younger, if there were any romantic scenes on TV, my parents would make me, yeah, same here. They'd be like, no, fast forward, change the channel immediately. Like they were insane. They were truly freaking insane. Deshauna says, shout out to strict parents about dating. LOL. I dated after I joined the military. Listen, I heard dating in the military is some serious business. You can get married within the week over there. Did you? How did that work out? Francine says, good morning, Grace and everyone. Thanks for responding to my email, Grace. My daughter, Ella, her name's Ella is about to turn 18. We both cried reading your heartfelt reply. Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. Well, happy birthday to her. And thanks again for your email. Francine was asking me if I had a P.O. box. I used to have one when I lived in Ottawa, but I haven't had one since I moved to France. So I was like, let me go see. I don't even know how that works over here. Because, and I still have them. Did I tell you guys? I think I told you guys. It's over here. Can you see it? You see this like orange box over here? This is full of you guys' like postcards and letters that you had been writing to me to Ottawa and stuff. So I was like, oh, that's so exciting. Cool. Let me go look into it. Cherise says they were too scared and we'd end up on 16. Hey, yeah. Listen, okay, let me tell y'all, since we're talking about 16 and pregnant, my parents were so strict, you guys. My mom specifically, she would not even let us wear tampons. She's like, no, y'all are not screwing. No tampons, no this, no that. Like, crazy. And all these other crazy rules. Like, thank God I can live on my own as a grown woman now because Lord have mercy. Mary Diddy says, a girl married my cousin. She had a pension from a previous marriage, but like alimony, but she lost it when she married my cousin. And then he left after a year. She lost her pension. She lost it for love, and boom, 1 year in, the guy and the marriage, oof, that would be painful, honestly. I wish that she kind of just like stayed engaged to him forever. Sorry to hear that. Deshauna says, but it was just about me. I am the youngest and only girl. Oh, that sucks when you get singled out, honestly. Oh, God, don't even get me started on that. Yes, says, yes, people said I had an old soul when I was younger. And you know what? You truly did. Based on the story you were telling, you truly, truly did. Isasum says, I didn't drink until 19 or swear until my senior year of college. Damn. I remember my first drink. I took a sip of my sister's cooler. She had brought these Smirnoff ice coolers. I think I was like in maybe the 8th grade or something, 8th or 9th grade. I was like, oh, I want a sip of that. She hid it under her bed. So I went under her bed, took a sip of it and closed it back. And then I went back. Like, oh, that stuff, it was like the lemonade flavored one. I was like, oh, that stuff wasn't half bad. And so I go back and she had moved it. Okay, so you guys date. Okay, I like that. I like your setup, Gwen. That sounds like a good setup. Steph says, happy early birthday. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, we share a birthday. You're my birthday twin. I love that. Well, happy early birthday to you too, Steph. And I hope you have a great time celebrating your birthday as well this weekend. It's going to be a good weekend. Chrissy says, my parents never had rules about dating or shows, but I didn't start dating until 16. Still with the same man at 30. That's amazing, Chrissy. You hit the jackpot. Like, I feel like, c'est le rêve ultime. That's like the ultimate dream, just not going through heartbreaks and like stumbling along through all these bad dates and bad relationships and stuff like that. Like, you hit the jackpot, girl. Unbreak my heart, say you love me again. Hey, Ramel, nice to see you, boo. Happy Thursday. And Ramel is another old soul as well. And thank you, Theo. Summer Breeze, what? What? That's crazy. I'm really impressed, actually. Not even a glass of wine with some cheese. Francine says, my uncle used to record movies on VHS from TV when we were younger, but cut out any kissing scenes. Oh, that is so freaking funny. The lengths he went to protect your innocent eyes, right? Absolutely hilarious. Oh, God. Jamie says, me and my man, not me and my mom were dating 11 years before we got engaged. Oh, that's so sweet. You guys really, really, truly, thoroughly know each other before marrying. My mom was easy breezy. Oh, you were so lucky. Oh, the stories I could tell. The stories I could tell, Kahara. Don't get me started. Hamlet says, we don't talk as much, but when we get together, it's like no time has passed. That's beautiful. You guys are true, soul sisters, as I like to call it. Cara says, no, I don't want her to date. I always ask her, what does it mean to have a girlfriend or boyfriend? Oh, that's cute. Listen, at least you're having conversations with her, because I think conversations are important too. And a lot of parents don't have conversations at all with their kids. They pretend, don't ask, don't tell, like nothing, right? So I think it's nice that you at least have an open dialogue with her. Now, you guys, listen, we have come to the end of the final morning report of the week. Like I said, in case you're joining us here late, I am off tomorrow afternoon on a weekend birthday trip. We're going to visit the north of France, a city called Lille. And then from there, we're going to visit a couple of cities in Belgium. So we're going to do Bruges, we're going to do Ghent, and then we're going to do Brussels before coming back to Paris. So this trip is from Friday up until Monday, which means that I won't be back until next Tuesday. Okay, you guys. So thank you so much for being here. All of the birthday love and all of the great comments on our stories today as well. Shout out to Campfire. Thank you so much for the B-Day super chat as well. Super duper sweet of you. And take good care of yourselves, you guys. Have a happy early weekend. And I will see you again next Tuesday. Okay, you guys, take care. Take care. If you enjoyed today's episode of the show, please don't forget to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows you enjoy my content. Bye, guys.